As you may know or may not know, I'm on a journey to understand life, and I have been for the last maybe 1 year and a half meeting people from different beliefs and religions in the series that is here on the channel, The Scrapbook of Life. And I'm always asking them, what is the meaning of life in your belief or in your eyes, through your eyes? What is the meaning of life? And in the last week or so, two things happened that actually made me realize the meaning of life. I realized finally, and I'm going to share with you my discovery, and you can tell me if you agree or disagree. It's like I had a revelation. The meaning hit me. So I'm Teresa Khalil, a writer, a documentary filmmaker from Egypt. I spent most of my life in the Arabic world. I moved to Europe, so now I've been in Europe for about 10 years. And in both worlds, I was always questioning, always thinking about the meaning of life. I already published a book in Arabic called Cayman Gun, and it has many short stories that just document my view of life and questioning a lot of things, questioning this existence. Let me say that when I always ask people what is the meaning of life, because this project has been on my mind and it's the reason why I wanted to become a documentary filmmaker, why then I moved to Europe, why I studied documentary film directing. It's this idea that I had in 2005 that I want to know how is it possible that people are on this planet or in this life, they're just going about their day, believing something, and they find so much satisfaction in the answer that is being given to them about the meaning of life.
Well, for me, the meaning of life is just making sure my daughters have everything they want.
Your children.
That's all I really care about, to be honest.
Now I'm very depressed, like to question how come human can be like this, can behave like this. On the other side, I feel more sense of a mission that make me come to this road.
So you make it better.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the meaning of your life, but what is the meaning of life, all life, What I noticed is that sometimes I ask people, what is the meaning of life? But then they think that I'm asking them, what is the meaning of their life? So they start telling me, I have children, for example, or people need me, or my goal of life is to help people. But I discovered that not many people are even aware, or their brains can't even grasp the idea that someone is asking them, what is the meaning of life, not of your life? And just yesterday, I had this realization that the meaning of life is for life to continue. You always feel lonely because you have this question that is bothering you, what is the meaning of life? And majority of people around you, their brains are not even have the ability to understand the question when you ask them. It will continue through us, whether we like it or not. Because I remember when my mother had my sister, she actually was not in a health condition that allows her to have children. She was also about 35 years old, and the doctors told her that she shouldn't have children. But it happened, and my sister came. And I remember when I was asking her as a child, as a 6-year-old, and questioning, why did you bring me to life, although you knew that there is death here and suffering? She told me that I didn't bring you, God did. And at the time, I didn't really understand, but I think she was just showing me how she was. It is something that you don't control. You are helpless in front of God's desire to bring a child. And God here is life. So life, you can see, it always wants to continue through us and through other shapes and forms. So anyway, two things happened last week, and one of them was my realization of the theory of evolution. Of course, I heard of it before, but I became obsessed with it in the last few days. I started watching a lot of videos about how that there are many other humans or that existed before Homo sapiens, how life was, for example, 1,000,000 years ago or 2,000,000 years ago. And I felt that, okay, I'm now like the bigger picture is being revealed a bit by bit. And I see now, okay, there were dinosaurs and the dinosaurs don't exist anymore. And there are many, many creatures that existed at certain point and now they don't exist. Probably majority of them never questioned what is the meaning of my life. They just came and they just disappeared, and everyone is doing what they are supposed to be doing. For example, you have this spider that is called the Black Widow. And the reason why they called her the Black Widow is because the female eats the male during sex or after. And of course, you can't say that she's a bad spider. No, she's just like all the Black Widow spiders, they do the same thing. So it's just how nature is. So there was life, but it wasn't humans, it was dinosaurs. And then when dinosaurs disappeared, there were other forms of life. And so there is always life. There has been always life manifesting in different forms and shapes. And so we are just, I would say, we are slaves to life because we can't stop it. You can't, because life is not something that you can put your hands on. It is this thing that is in everything. This realization is just very scary because I finally was able to see why, for example, the spider, there is a kind of spiders when she has her little spiders, the first breakfast for those babies is the mother. She herself, she sent them vibrations to come back and eat her. Why would the mother sacrifice herself for the babies? Because there is one mission: for life to continue, for new generations to come. And if you talk to anyone, they will tell you that I don't care about myself, I care about my children. And why they do that? Because you are not important. What's important is for life to continue. If you look at any plant, if I grow paprika or tomatoes, you will find like once they bring the seeds, when they fruit and they have the seeds, then they just die, they dry and die, and that's it. So the painful thing is, I'm realizing this, so why I'm realizing it? Why I have the ability to think and realize if at the end of the day, life is going to just manifest itself through any alive human being or any alive creature. Why I have the ability to think and question and realize. Isn't this just torture? Another thing that happened last week as well is I went for the first funeral in my life. I know it is weird because my mother died, my father died, and how is it possible that this is the first funeral I attend in Europe and in my life? That deserves another video with another story. So I attended, usually when I was, I come from Egypt, and all my life in Egypt, I was always avoiding weddings and funerals. I'm not, to be honest, I'm not interested in the way people do it in Egypt, how they get married, and the weddings are usually very noisy and the funerals are very dull. And so I just attended a wedding when I came to Europe to see how is it like, and I liked it. At least the wedding that I attended was very calm, very beautiful, just like my wedding, which I have on the channel, you can watch it. So simple, so calm, easygoing, and just beautiful. But then we had this funeral, and I attended it for the first time in my life. I attend a funeral, and it was here in Zagreb in a place called Mirogoj, and it is so beautiful, so peaceful. This place actually, yes, it is a cemetery, but it is so beautiful that it's actually one of Zagreb's touristic attractions. So I went there and I attended the funeral, and the funeral was also so beautiful. To be honest, it's something that I didn't expect. It was so brief, only 30 minutes, and everything was organized, and the coffin came with flowers on top of it, and then automatically it went down with the singer singing "Time to Say Goodbye." And then they sang Frank Sinatra, "My Way." They had flowers, petals. Each one of the attendees would throw on the coffin. So it was just so pretty and so beautiful and so organized. And it was like, for me, it was like a show more than a funeral, especially because I didn't know the person who died. But yeah, so I was so much in peace, and I came home and I started thinking about, okay, what is the meaning of life? And because I was into the theory of evolution as well, they both came together, and I just realized finally what is the meaning of life. And I found that there is this unstoppable force that is called life. And life, as they say, it has to go on. Life goes on all the time, with you or without you. If all humans disappear tomorrow, or if all mammals disappear tomorrow, life will continue going on. It can go on through plants, through insects, through animals. It's a force that is in every creature that you see around you. It's an unstoppable force, and it has been, and it will always be, because it started since ever and it will continue forever. And this realization that I'm just a tool in the hand of life, and life just used me to stay or to continue, and I'm going to die, of course, but life is going to continue. And that's why every creature have this urgent desire to procreate, because you are just programmed in that way. And the question is, why did I wake up? Why I can't be under this program anymore? And few others like me. I have no idea why I have this awareness. I have no idea why I'm not like everyone else, who just find that they can't even grasp the question, what is the meaning of life? And they just think about their own lives and what they look under their feet, and they just can't see the big picture. Everyone knows that they are going to die. For them, it is not a big deal. And I know mothers, for example, who have problem with having children, and they go under those procedures that are so difficult, and they try again and again and again, even if it's life-threatening, because they just don't care about their lives. What they care about is just having a child and for life to continue. When I see now this reality and how that we are all, I would say, slaves for life, just life is using us to persist and to continue, and it's a massive force. You just can't stop in the face of it. Even like, for example, I am antinatalist, and I shared this before, but I don't think this can have any effect, because life is really unstoppable force. And now I understand when people say we are slaves of God, or we are, in Islam, for example, there is Abdullah, which means the slave of Allah. Yeah, so now I see it, Yeah, we are just slaves. We are slaves being used for life to continue. I'm like a tiny drop in the ocean of life. Life is this huge power. Every creature, you look at them and they just want to live. Not for them, but for the generations to come. They know that they are dying. They know that they will not last. They know that their life is temporary. And all what they're obsessed about is having new generations. Now, as I see this, even if we all stopped having children, life will just manifest itself in other creatures. So, to finalize the answer, what is the meaning of life? The meaning of life is for life to continue. This is the meaning of life. Life will continue. And of course, this is such a horrifying answer when you tell someone, well, actually your life has no meaning. What's important is that life continue. And we are here, we'll suffer, we'll die. And if someone say, no, but we have good times as well. Well, if we do have good times as well, you know, the human brain is designed in a way that the trauma affected much more than the good times. Like, actually, you don't remember the good times, but the trauma and the suffering is engraved in your brain. That's how your brain is designed, which makes your suffering even more. So yeah, that's the meaning of life. We are here for Her Majesty life to continue. I really hope I'm mistaken, You can tell me in the comments if you agree or disagree. And I'm still on a journey to understand life. Just recently I met a Woody who's coming from African tradition and Methodist Christianity, and he then became a Krishna consciousness devotee. And you can watch his story, his life story, and how does he explain this experience of life in the episode of the podcast. So I'm meeting people who changed their belief, and I'm asking them this question: what is the meaning of life? Or how do you see life? What is the meaning of this existence? If you want to follow my journey to understand life, make sure to subscribe and follow me on this channel. More stories to come.